Eminem was one of the earliest cases of an attempt at what people would now call cancel culture, and it was done by Eminem's own peers within hip-hop. It's about Eminem and his unfortunately famous racist rap hour. The racial rap recordings that made headlines for a solid number of articles and were the topic in many talks go all the way back to 1993 and four white dudes called the Basement Productions. The said collective was formed by Eminem somewhere between 1988 and 1993 and consisted of Eminem, White MC Chaos Kid, Brothers, DJ Butterfingers, and Mannix. And it's said to have more than a few songs in a racial context that did some harm to Eminem's life, but he was able to get over it. The reason why those tapes made so much noise is that not only did they have some racial slurs being thrown among the lyrics, but many hip-hop figures saw that as a threat to pretty much Eminem, who was a star at the time, stealing hip-hop culture. It was seen that record labels, alongside mainstream media and white rappers like Eminem, would make hip-hop their own, forgetting about the fact that it was created by African Americans, originally Black Americans, and remained their form of artistic expression. Such music labels as Interscope were seen as the root of all evil because these labels were making the media more biased, gathering a lot of powerful artists under their wings, and making independent artists seen as outcasts. This was emphasized greatly by The Source and Benzino, who also had a beef with Eminem. In addition, Eminem did a lot of work by trying to hide these racial tapes from his producer and owner of the record label, Champtow. This guy was the one who introduced Eminem to Detroit's black hip-hop community and put a lot of good work into shaping Eminem before he became a star. When Champtow heard the tracks for the first time in 2000, he was shocked and added to the fact that Eminem said that it was a breakup with his black girlfriend that provoked all of these slurs, and he said that it seemed like a bit deceitful. It all started in 2002 when Eminem released The Eminem Show, which was a huge boom among critics and fans. But The Source, while reviewing it, marked it 4 mics instead of 5. Eminem had another opinion about the fairness of that evaluation and was sure that his album deserved all 5 mics. He accused The Source and Benzino of being biased and added that he would never get the maximum amount of 5 mics due to him being white. But he didn't stop at that. Eminem took a great deal and was dissing The Source whenever he got the chance. Moreover, he took his vendetta to the next level when he refused to get an interview with Benzino about his new film, 8 Mile. Benzino decided to diss Eminem by releasing Pull Your Skirt Up, where he mocked Eminem, calling him 2003 Vanilla Ice, and said a lot of things that pretty much, without The Source, nobody would have ever heard about Eminem. Surprisingly, it was not Eminem who made Benzino so angry, but the whole machine, while Eminem was just a part of it. The media was praising Eminem too much for Benzino's taste, naming him a king of hip-hop, and that by itself made Benzino feel like the erasure from the public memory of many great black male rappers who made hip-hop what it was back in 2002. But the anger that was driving Benzino to diss Eminem started a beef of 20 years plus, at least on one side. After Benzino published his other diss, I Don't Wanna, just in a few weeks, Eminem was furious that he dissed The Source, Benzino, and Dave Mays of The Source in 3 tracks: Invasion, The Sauce, Nail in the Coffin. In one interview, Eminem commented on the whole issue. "I've never met this man, this girl. She's obsessed with me. I would never think I would see the day when I seen the worst rapper in the world going against one of the best." In response to Eminem's dissing, Benzino released Die Another Day and Better Lose Yourself. And he took it way deeper than he should have because it's bad manners to go after a man's family. Tell Haley it ain't safe no more, daddy better watch your back at the candy store. And it's when this dissing became very personal, but it was never intended to be, and this is before the tapes were even brought to light. After talking about Eminem's daughter in this fashion, Benzino got a crazy wave of backlash from Eminem's fans, and radio stations chose not to playlist songs anymore. But instead of backing down, he decided to go full on and use his magazine, The Source, as another platform to keep beefing with Eminem. Eminem was out for Benzino's head and released another diss, Go to Sleep, where he mentioned Ja Rule, who was beefing with 50 Cent. And he published a cover story with The Source's competitor XXL magazine that added fuel to the flame. Ja Rule wasn't silent and returned the favor of dissing Eminem's daughter in the track Loose Change. "Em, you claim your mother's a crackhead and Kim is a known slut, so what's Haley gonna be when she grows up?" Later that year, Eminem and Shady Records fired back and released 3 diss tracks aimed at both Benzino and Ja Rule, who also had beef with 50 Cent at the time, who was signed with Shady Aftermath, such as Bump Heads, Do Re Mi, and Hail Mary. Benzino didn't stay quiet and made a team of him and Ja Rule to produce more diss tracks such as Fallen Down and Untouchable. And this is when the tapes saw the light because they were getting torched in the rap beef when it came to diss tracks. The tapes were spread by alleged friends of Eminem from the 90s, all three white fans from Detroit. They were trying to sell those tapes for over a year, initially hoping to raise about $50K, but nobody took that much of an interest in them. So finally, they got to the Source headquarters and asked to be seen by Dave Mays. They waited for quite some time in the lobby of the Source, eager to show Eminem's racial rap hour. While it was quite shocking, the Source being, first of all, a journalistic entity, had an obligation to report that and put it out there. They didn't get $50K, which is what they wanted. Benzino admitted that he paid $10K in front and said if there's more to the picture, he would pay another $5K. Those songs, two in particular, Foolish Pride, and another one very short, were criticizing black girls by their appearance and the fact that all they wanted was money, and the track seemed very unprofessionally made. Benzino commented on the whole situation. "Don't make this right now a double standard. We gotta treat this the same way you treat Mike Tyson, like you treat Kobe Bryant, like you treat R. Kelly, like you treat O.J. Simpson." With this said, the Source and Benzino were planning to expose the whole CD with multiple songs, Racist Rap Hour, along with their new issue of the magazine in February. But they were interrupted by doing so through the courts. Specifically, Eminem sued the Source and accused them of making an illegal copy of the CD with his old recordings and sought an injunction by which it would be impossible to distribute the CD. In addition, Eminem stated that the owners of the magazine, Benzino and Dave Mays, had breached the copyright law by the fact that they reproduced previously unreleased recordings. Judge Lynch granted Eminem and Shady Records an injunction, but later the judge lifted it, ruling that the magazine could publish no more than 20 seconds of the whole CD. Despite Eminem's lawyers appealing the ruling, the February edition of The Source had a CD with 20 seconds of combined slurs from his early recordings. Moreover, The Source did publish all the lyrics on their website and magazine, which infuriated Eminem, and there probably was another court about the Source paying Eminem for the damage that they had done. But in 2005, Eminem withdrew after presenting that court case, saying that he was done with the whole situation. While there were some discussions about whether on the second short track it was Eminem who rapped using a lot of slurs, Eminem's publicist said, "We haven't heard the first tape and can't confirm whether it's him." Eminem apologized for all the things that he said in these songs, stating that the whole Racist Rap Hour was recorded when he was 15 or 16 years old, not 21, which is what the Source stated. "Ray Benzino, Dave Mays, and the Source have had a vendetta against me, Shady Records, and our artists for a long time. The tape they played today was something I made out of anger, stupidity, and frustration when I was a teenager. I'd just broken up with my girlfriend, who was African American, and I reacted like the angry, stupid kid I was. I hope people will take it for the foolishness that it was, not for what somebody is trying to make it into today." As a result of the beef, the end of which was nowhere to be seen, and the backlash that the Source magazine was taking from all fronts, Benzino was removed from the company later in 2006. Eminem's track, Like Toy Soldiers, is about the disappointment over many beefs that were going around at the time, not only his with Benzino, but the one that 50 Cent had with Ja Rule. In the lyrics, it's clear that Eminem provides us with a bit of analysis of what was happening and how multiple situations were controlled. He also stated that whenever someone touches another man's family, it crosses the line, which is what Benzino brought forward. Not only Eminem, but he describes hip-hop during that time too. "There used to be a time when you could just say a rhyme and wouldn't have to worry about one of your people dying. But now it's elevated because once you put someone's kids in it, the shit gets escalated. It ain't just words no more, is it? It's a different ball game. You call names and you ain't just rapping." At the end of the song, it looked like Eminem really wanted to leave all those beefs in the past. "I'm just willing to be the bigger man. If y'all can quit popping off at the jaws, well then I can, because frankly I'm sick of talking." As Benzino and Eminem seemed to bury the hatchet, finally, Benzino opened up about the initial reasons for the beef, which as it turned out, wasn't about Eminem at all. "At the time, I felt deep about what I was standing for. My thing is, hip-hop is the only thing that made white people come to the culture, buy into the culture, spend money, and also interact with the culture through hip-hop. Eminem is not in the culture that I'm from. That's not a bad thing, I'm not mad at that. He grew up where there weren't a lot of black people," which seems to not be quite the case. On March 18th, 2022 on his Twitter, Benzino stated that, "To all Eminem fans and stans all over the world, the beef is officially over. I'm letting y'all know I have no hate towards any of his fans and recognize his contributions to hip-hop. He truly is a part of the culture and one of the best to rock the mic regardless of his color." The peace did not last long, as one would hope. Perhaps it's just Benzino's nature to be hooked on the adrenaline rush that comes from constantly being in conflict. If you just look at the past several years, whether it's with his daughter publicly, with a police officer, with Eminem, with any number of people. But just after that month that he declared peace, he got himself into another beef with 50 Cent, who posted some videos that implied some sus behavior from Benzino, which is understandable that he wanted to stand up for his reputation. Although he didn't have to take shots at Eminem, but it was habit, saying that all of Eminem's friends, including 50 Cent, were his slaves. Eminem hasn't even addressed it. Luckily for Eminem, this racial rap hour didn't really affect his career that much, except for a few disses. He was already almost at the point where he was too big to fail, and if there were anything to destroy him, it would be this. But he was able to push through it. The majority of his younger fans probably don't even know that it happened. And older fans either don't care or don't really bring it up. But it was a very interesting turn of events because this is something that could be career ending for someone like Eminem, who was really the only popular white rapper and arguably the most popular rapper in the world in general. But if this happened today, I wonder what would happen to Eminem.